Destiny 2 has a variety of activities that challenge the average player in many ways. There are 6-player raids that challenge players' communication and critical thinking. There's Trials of Osiris, where the mentally unstable PvP players compete to see who's the best of the best. But finally, there are Grandmaster Nightfalls, who challenge players to survive a linear series of objectives and enemies. In this video, we'll be taking these to the next level with our third installment of the LFG Grandmaster Passage challenge. If you haven't seen my previous attempts, here's the rundown. We have to complete 7 Grandmaster Nightfalls in a row, but I can only use Fireteam Finder to find my teammates. I can also only forgive one loss, and if I fail, I have to start all over. This video, we're taking it to the Fallen Saber Grandmaster Nightfall, and I'm just gonna say, this one almost broke me, so keep watching. Let's go. This time around, we started on our Titan using a hazardous propulsion build because I never went and got an exotic class item for a concentration spam build. But this build is pretty good by itself, so we're not torn up about it at all. Starting out run number 1, like every run number 1, we found a team, loaded in, and got wiped in the first section, as my teammate didn't really comprehend how cover works. Now you may think, wow, we're not even that far into the video and he already failed a run. Just wait, it gets worse. Run number 2 went a little better as my teammate utilized the ever-true, ever-effective strategy of merging his body into the war sat, meaning that we're able to get into the bunker. I'd like to quote a great man and say, those who choose to use cheese strategies fall to the simplest of opponents, as we weren't able to even last 30 seconds in the bunker room. Yeah, so this isn't really going well at all, so I decided to try a small change for this video. Instead of finding a team, I decided to create a team. And so, for run number 3, I created a post and found a team, and guess what? It worked! We went through the strike, playing carefully and decisively, and although my teammate did try to use the cheese, we were able to 2-man the intro section without dying. And even after seeing my teammate use Storm's Edge and a GM, which explains why he was trying to cheese the Warsat, we were able to clear the GM with only one close call in the boss room. And if you didn't know, the boss's sniper turret will one-shot you unless you either have a big amount of damage resist or an overshield. But regardless of this, we took down the boss and added our first win. Run number 4 was also a breeze, as in the first section, my teammate was able to do the Warsat cheese, but this left a sour taste in my mouth, as if this run contributed to me succeeding in the challenge, it wouldn't feel like I earned the win. But unfortunately, I can't control what other people do. I did think of doing another run to make up for this if I did succeed, but let me know in the comments what you think I should do regarding stuff like this in the future. We were able to complete the strike, so I uneasily added our second win onto our passage. Run number 5 was our first fully legit victory in our passage, as both of my teammates carried me with Outbreak. Seeing as my pea shooter of a midnight coup was nothing compared to their primaries, I took on the role of the Overload Stunner. I did a damn good job, stunning almost every Overload champ in the strike. Now, with all my recent GM runs, I have noticed an unsettling trend in our fellow players. They don't pay attention to any sniper enemies. If you watched my last video, you would know that we lost the challenge in part to us dying to Tracer Shanks in one of the rooms. This trend continues as I watched my teammate take 3 wire rifle shots and die. And if you just stand a little behind cover, these enemies are such a low threat. Now, this doesn't mean you can ignore them, but it helps you not die. But anyway, run number 5 was a win. Run number 6 was where my mental sanity started to fall apart in this challenge. Even though we did finish the run with a win, my gameplay was so sloppy that it hurt to watch while writing this script. I played way too aggressively and left my teammates in bad situations through the entire GM. I even meleeed the boss for some reason, but my teammates had my back and we got win number 4. Now, remember when I said my mental sanity started to fall apart like a few sentences ago? Well, in runs number 7 and 8, they destroyed it. Starting out, run number 7, my teammate died to the impact of the Warsat, which I haven't seen ever happen in a GM. And although this happened, we got past this section and entered the bunker. The bunker was a fight for my life as both of them died and left me alone in a room full of enemies. Not once, but twice. But we clutched up and moved through the strike and managed to survive to the boss room. This fight was tough, and even though we got to the boss's last quarter of health, both of them went down, leaving me to clutch up. And sadly, I died to my own dragon breath, ending run number 7 with a loss. Run number 8 was also a disaster as my teammate died literally 8 seconds after we entered the strike, and then right then after I rezzed him. This run then got worse after my teammates both left after dying in the bunker, leaving me alone to finish the strike. Now what really irritated me was the fact that I was able to complete this section by myself, but since I was all alone, I ended up dying to the electricity section. So explain this to me. You get into a room full of enemies, push way too aggressively and die, and then you leave because your teammates can't go and res you? Now I know I wasn't playing the best, but really, come on guys. But a failed run is a failed run, and so I reset the challenge and went right back into run number 9. For run number 9, I was so frustrated that I forgot to record the intro, but caught myself and was able to get the rest of the strike. This run was actually not that bad, and I came up for a trick for the second phase of the bunker. It's called Nuke the Invis Vandals that spawn, so my teammates don't die to them. My trick worked flawlessly and we were able to get through the strike. One easy boss melt later, we added the first win back onto our newly refreshed passage. Run number 10 was my breaking point as we had a hunter who was running Liar's Handshake on Void, and I checked his subclass and he didn't have any aspects or fragments equipped. Now I encourage new players to try higher end activities, but please come in with at least some sort of cohesive build. Anyway, we loaded in, and my other teammate cheesed the Warsat, and in the bunker room they both died to the first wave of ads. Now this is where I got really irritated, because I was trying my hardest to save the run, and I weaved in and out of the tunnel, and it was the only safe place in the entire room. And when I died, because it's kinda hard to take on an army on your own, my teammate put a question mark in the text chat. Now, I don't want to be profane, but really, a freaking question mark? Here's a question. Are you so bad that you can't even get 2 kills in a strike? That's pretty freaking valid if you ask me. So after this, I was left broken, irritated, and honestly, ready to quit. But after consulting with the commander himself, I had a plan. No more silly builds, no more relying on teammates, and no more playing suboptimally. If Esoteric can beat this GM solo with white gear, I can do it with a team and a real loadout. So I made a decision. I was going to my main, my Warlock. And so, I set out on a path of vengeance. This strike took my pride, so I wanted to get it back. Armed with a prismatic getaway artist build and my trusty Outbreak, I went in for run number 11 with a fire in my belly. And I took on this strike and made it mine. My plan? First, use Forbearance and Stasis turrets on the Fallen that come out of this skiff. Second, use Radiance to deal with the first phase of the bunker, and use the same plan to deal with the Invis Fallen. Third, Transcend to deal with the Fallen that spawn here, and then finally cycle Rockets, Transcendence, and Radiance to survive the boss room. This all worked perfectly and I finished up run number 11 with a win. But I wasn't satisfied, and I repeated the same process for runs number 12, 13, and 14. In each of these runs, the Fallen stood no chance to my barrage of nanites, stasis, and explosives. In run number 12, we destroyed the strike, ending the run with maxed out res tokens. For run number 13, I managed to find 2 Paragon level Guardians, both with fully functional endgame loadouts. Let's just say this run was fast, like playlist strike fast, ending the run in just under 11 minutes. In run number 14, me and this other Warlock both popped Radiance to the bunker at the exact same time, and were able to clear it in just under 2 minutes. And finally, through the use of more than excessive force, we cleared this run and officially caught up to where we failed before. And before you ask, there was no Warsat cheese this time around. And so, with my petty vengeance satisfied, I looked forward towards the final half of the challenge. Like before, I still had my mercy intact, but this time felt better. There were no close calls at all so far, so I went straight into run number 15. This run went very well as my team was able to quickly progress. We cleared the second phase of the bunker so fast that I was in shock. It's really nice to have a team that can do things without help, and we're able to finish up the strike easily, adding a never heard of win number 5 to our passage. For run number 16, I booted up Fireteam Finder with skeptical but high expectations. Things were going well, but we never know if the next team will be able to complete the strike. But luckily, I found the right people. Our hunter brought a sniper rifle and actually shot the turrets off of the skiff. The rest of the run went smoothly as our Titan was running the ever strong, ever loved Consecration spam build. Unfortunately, we only had one overload hand cannon, and we did have a little awkward pause in the bunker section, but regardless, we got through and persevered. Just look how our Titan was able to clear this room mostly by himself. It makes me want to grind for an exotic Titan mark. Anyway, we cleared the boss with ease and added win number 6 to our passage. Well, this is it. We're at 6 wins and 0 losses for this run. After doing all these in a row, I was pretty nervous for the last run. The loss here would kill my motivation to go forward and repeat this entire thing, and I didn't want to risk losing another run after this one. So I gathered all of my strength and booted up Fireteam Finder for hopefully the last time. This run was the riskiest run in this entire passage. I found a team and both of them were running rocket sidearms and red death, which means overload was up to me and my stasis turrets. But I faced this strike with bravery and we loaded in. My fears came true as this overload captain blitzed my teammate and my grenade was on cooldown. This scared me as this overload could wipe my whole team with its shrapnel launcher. But to my surprise, my teammate was running stasis shurikens and were able to take it down. In the bunker, things didn't go any better. I failed to kill all the ads with radiance and both of my teammates went down. In my head, this run was dead. I was surrounded by ads and stuck in a room, but an extremely risky move, I pushed in and got the res. We chained reses and my teammate's super saved the run from total failure. We completed this section and moved through the strike. Electric room, clear. Skirmish section, clear. We made it to the room right before the boss and our hunter used his super perfectly to deal with the 3 overload champions. This was it, the boss room. I painfully remembered the wipe that happened earlier this run, and we pushed in with confidence. I remembered my plan from all the runs before, and I was ready to win. We took down the first quarter of health with primaries, the second went down to a few rockets, and the final half, incinerated by my own solar light. We did it! I celebrated, but left the strike for the last time this week. And as you can see, we succeeded! Now even though I did want to complete it on my Titan, this victory still felt good. Overall, I would say it's probably from having good teammates who were able to understand how to play in this environment. Now, I know Fallen Saber is considered to be one of the easiest GMs, but it doesn't make this feel any less significant. Now, this challenge isn't going anywhere, so why not subscribe, since you already made it to the end of the video, and leave a like. And join us next week as we take on the next GM in the season. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.